Hey guys, Sandy Dupont here. Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we will be talking about part 2 of the RRSP, which is Registered Retirement Savings Plan. And in today's video, it's gonna be special because we're going to talk about how we can use RRSP to buy our first home and also how to withdraw money on there so we can save on taxes and maximize our profits. And don't forget, as always, smash the like button if you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And of course, leave us a comment below. Let us know what you learned, what you would like to know. And if you have questions, just leave it in the comment. If you haven't watched the first video on RSP that I made, you can click on the link right here. I will also leave the link in the description below so you can go back, check this video out. And don't forget, as always, these videos, I don't act as a financial advisor. It's for entertainment purpose only, so you can learn more about how you can make, save, and invest money in Canada. So that being said, let's dive into the video. Alright guys, when it's time to take money out of your RSP, there will be tax held at source. But the amount of taxes or the percentage of taxes that will be held at source will depend on where you live in Canada and how much money that you're taking. For example, if you're taking out 5,000 or less, the percentage is 10% anywhere else in Canada and 5% in Quebec. Between 5,000 and 15,000, it is 20% everywhere else in Canada and 10% in Quebec. Once you're taking out more than $15,000, it's 30% everywhere else and 15% in Quebec. And these are for the federal taxes. So it's important that you check out for provincial taxes. So in Quebec, you not only pay those federal taxes, they are held at source, but you also have the provincial one. What's important to know is that depending on what tax bracket that you are in, those taxes that are withheld at source when you're taking out your RSP may not be enough to pay your taxes, so you might have to pay additional taxes. But at the same time, if you didn't make a lot of money and you're in a low tax bracket, you might have a tax return after you file your taxes. So it all depends on how much money you make for the year. So that's why it is advisable to take money out of your RSP when you are in retirement, where you make less money than when you were working, or in years that you don't make that much money, either because of unemployment or paternity, maternity leave, where your income was significantly reduced. Now, here is the good news. You might be able to withdraw money out of your RSP without paying taxes at source. Hear me out. This is how. This is for first-time home buyers. So they call this home buyers plan. I'll be explaining this right now. So the home buyers plan is a government program that allows you to borrow money from your RRSP tax-free so you can buy or build your first home. But you have 15 years to return that money back without any interest. Now, the question is, who is eligible to take advantage of this wonderful program? Well, you are eligible if you and or your spouse were not the owner occupants of a principal residence during the year of the RSP withdrawal and the previous 4 years. What does that mean exactly? If this year you're taking money out of your RSP, you shouldn't be owning a house where you live in it, or your spouse shouldn't be owning a house where she lives or he lives in it during the time you're taking that money out and 4 years before that. So we are in 2023, so we would have this year and then 4 years before that. You shouldn't be owning a home and living in that home. So if that's the case, you are qualified for it. So now let's explain this in more practical or plain language. So when you borrow that money from the RRSP, you have 15 years to pay that money back, which means you borrow it this year in 2023. The cool news is you don't have to start doing the repayment until the year after. So if you borrow money from your RSP to buy a house this year in 2023, you can only, or if you want to, you don't have to pay anything this year in 2023. You can start paying that money back in 2024. 2024. So now what's important to remember is that when you repay that RRSP loan, you do not have tax deduction for that repayment money that you make. So that's why you don't have to try to repay the whole thing right away, because you would lose those tax deductions. So you pay only 1/15 of that money that you borrowed to put down as a down payment towards your first home, to either buy or build. So how much can we borrow? We can borrow up to 35,000 per person or 70,000 per couple in order to profit and use that money towards a down payment to buy or build your home. Now, here is a practical example. Let's say I am a single guy, and since I was 18, I've been saving money in my RRSP so I can reduce my taxes and get those tax deductions. So now I've saved over the years $30,000. And today in 2023, I decide I'm going to build or buy my first home. So I want to borrow that $30,000 from my RRSP tax-free and with no interest either, and I have 15 years to repay that back. How that would work is that I would have that $30,000 from my bank, and then I put it as a down payment towards my house. Because I take the money out in 2023, I have up to February 29, 2024 to make my first payment. Because I only have to pay 1/15 of the money that I borrowed. So in that case, it would be 30,000 divided by 15 years. Then I would only need to pay $2,000 a year for 15 years to repay that money interest-free back to my RRSP. So the question that may come to mind now is, what happens if I don't pay that money? Well, you don't have to pay that money, but it's in your advantage to pay it back, because it's as if you're having free money there, because you don't pay any interest on that money you borrow from your RRSP, and you also have that money towards your down payment. So it's a very good advantage. So if I don't pay that money back, what happens is that money become taxable income and is added to my taxable income for the year where I don't do the repayment. The same example I just gave is applicable for a couple as well. So except that you have to multiply that by 2. There you have it, guys. This video was part 2 of the RRSP. So now we might have other videos on RRSP in the future detailing a little bit more about other stuff. It will depend on what questions you have about the RRSP, and don't forget to leave those in the comments below. So here's a summary of what we talked about today. We talked about RRSP withdrawals, how taxes are withheld at source. We talked about how it is better to withdraw money from your RRSP when you either retire and make less money, or when you're on unemployment or on parental leave in years that you don't make that much money, so you don't get taxed a lot on your RRSP. And we talked about the home buyer's plan, how you can borrow money from your RRSP to use as a down payment on your house, on your first home. So if you didn't own a house and occupy it for the past 4 years, you can do that. And you can use that more than once. So if you did it in the past and it's been 15 years, or you already repaid it in full, you can start over if you didn't own a home for the past 4 years before 2023. So this is the second video on RRSP. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget, smash the like button if you like the video. Leave us a comment below, subscribe to the channel, and share this video on your social media so your family and friends can know how they can use the RRSP as an advantage to buy the first home. Since it's gonna be spring, it's time where people are buying home, that can be a very good factor to help you put more down payment down, so you don't have to pay so much in interest, because the interest rates are really high on mortgages right now. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you until the next video.